Hello, let's talk about games. I was reading up on the founder of the Boy Scouts, a Lord Nelson Robert Baden-Powell, I believe, a British guy in the British military that was a war hero. Pretty interesting story with the Battle of the Boers in South Africa. If you're into that kind of thing, you should read up on it. When he started the Boy Scouts, from the very beginning to the end of his life, he said that the purpose was to teach young men to grow up straight and upright and true and with Christian fundamentals, and to be service to the community and at place in nature. And he said the way that you teach them all this is you make it a game. That was the whole point. It was fun and competition and games of merit, and it made learning and challenges fun. That's the point. And they say life is a game. And it is. When I was a Boy Scout, and I really enjoyed it. Oh boy, it meant a lot to me. I moved and discontinued the Scouts before I got to be an Eagle Scout, but I was a Boy Scout. It was fun. And I think that when I enlisted into the Army, that I really thought it was going to be like the Boy Scouts. I didn't know anything about the Army except what I'd seen in movies. When I enlisted, I didn't know you got paid. I thought it was voluntary and you were given rations and supplies and lived in the barracks. I didn't know you got paid to be in the Army when I first joined. I was pretty naive. So when I finished my training and I got into the Army, I did well at first because I liked the games of the Boy Scouts, where it was practice and get good at something, explore, try new things, be brave, be selfless, and you'll go real far. And I did. I got promoted fast, got a lot of awards and ribbons and coins and all that bullshit. And then I got to a political unit, and I had a real hard time. My track record and my work ethic and my professionalism wasn't doing anything. I was still getting all kinds of drama and grief and professional issues, and I was miserable. And the people that I confided in they had a common sentiment. They said, well, you got to learn to play the game. And I resented it. It's not that I wasn't smart enough to play the game. It's that I saw the game for what it was, and I refused. I said, no, that can't be the only way. Me being a Boy Scout got me real far in the first half of my career. And now here I am, and it just don't count for nothing no more. All of the accolades and all of the write-ups and all of the missions, and none of it, they don't count for nothing here. Like, that's really how it is. And I got a lot of shrugs. And I said, you got to learn to play the game. And I don't like kissing butt, and I don't like identity politics and backstabbing and kissy face, two-face. And I don't like guys that sleep with their buddies' wives, and guys that cover up crimes on the weekends, and I don't like that stuff. I never really did. Okay, great, that's me. So there are games out there. Life is a game, and I, after I was reading up on Lord Baden-Powell of the Grand Master Boy Scout of the world, I really took to heart what he was talking and teaching about games, because if it's not fun, what's the point? And he died at like 81 or 82, and he was a kind of a little bit of a silly guy and a big kid his whole life, they say, all the way up to the very end. He's always playful and friendly, and he got along with kids great because he paid attention to them, because he knew how important they were. And it got me thinking, after all of because I love all of what I've read so far, I got to thinking that I want my life to be a game, like it was when I was a Boy Scout, and I saw things through the eyes of a kid that was curious and ambitious and competitive. I mean, I might still be those things now, but I'm certainly older in some ways than I was back then, when I weighed 90 pounds or whatever it was. So, if I am forced to play this game of life where I have to interact with people, I resent, and I'm so indignant about the kiss butt and the, social justice and the blah 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 blah, and I don't give a shit. But I still want to have fun. Then I need to interpret those rules, or make my own rules to this game. I need to interface with it in a way that I enjoy, or at the very least is much less stressful than it is intended to be. So, I practiced the game. I realized today when I was out that I was practicing the game, and when I realized I was practicing it, then I was able to, what are the rules? And okay, let's pay attention and keep score. And I'm going to the grocery store, and I hate the grocery store, but I'm going. I had to go. And all of the snowbirds are in town, all the winter visitors, and so many of them are wearing masks and are ugly, antisocial. Like, I'm antisocial, but I try to be distant and gray. But there's a lot of pushy old boomers from, the Great Lakes and the Canada area down here in Sunshine State, Arizona, sunny Arizona, and they think they own the town with their second home down here, and that's another, snowbirds, whatever. But so there's a lot of masks today, and a lot of glares, and a lot of pushiness and social awkwardness, more than there's been now that the visitors are in town. And like, my blood starts pumping, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, like, full anti-Jewish mafia mode. I'm ready to, like, start screaming about commies and the USS Liberty, and man, I get worked up, but I don't want to be like that. And so I thought, well, all of the old timers are my seniors. These are the rules of my game. The old timers are seniors, so I have to respect them. I don't want to judge anybody. I'm my brother's keeper, not my brother's judge. And these old timers, they're confused, they're lost in the sauce, they still listen to Bill O'Reilly or whatever. Just let them be afraid, I guess. Maybe the best that you can do for them is show them your youth and vigor and courage and practice of your own stoicism. Show them that even though you're younger than them, You can be more mature than them without shining them on, just by being true to your nature and being honest in your character. And then I'm not going to tell any single woman anything about a man. There wasn't many, but I was practicing my rules, and I thought, who am I to tell a woman if her man's not there? That I'd be pretty irate if a guy started telling my old lady when I wasn't around. I guess that's on me to be with her or not, but don't be a creep shouting at women in public about any kind of political ideology. Leave them the hell alone, especially if they're with kids. Let the mom be a mom and the kids have their little trip to the store, and you leave them the hell alone. And then kids. It ain't my business to tell anybody else's kids. Shit. Don't do that. So then who was left? Well, I guess that would be men in my age group. Well, what do I have to say to anything, if anything, to men in my age group? Well, luckily where I'm at, most of them have a gun on their hip out where I'm at. But if there's any that are like wearing a mask or real like liberal leaning, I guess then my task or my goal is to be big brother. And what kind of big brother do we want to be? That's on each of us. Like, were we raised with violence? Were we raised with talking? Were we raised with parables? I was raised with violence and fear and terror. And oftentimes that's how I want to teach. So ultimately it's probably best for me not to teach people in public. But if I'm aware of all this, okay, seniors are out of my league, women are off limits, other people's kids, leave them the hell alone, right? Children in general, like, come on, leave them alone. Let them be kids. And then my fellow men. Well, I want to see, I guess, all of my fellow men as the future, I guess, parent or not, the fathers of the next generation. And in our joint effort, we are unified as brothers. We become family, right? I want to see everybody as kin. I really do. And if I see my brother, or if I see my cousin, or if I see a long lost, distant relative out in public, the hint is at everybody. And then I want to treat them like I would a member of my own family. No, I don't get along much with what little family I have left, but that doesn't mean I don't want to be kind to my family. And so if I saw somebody in public that was acting the fool or giving me grief, then I'll just say I would ask myself, how do I show this person I love them in my response? And there's people in my family, I told them lots of 4-letter words when I meant exactly that. I guess the moral of the story there is stay true to your heart. Anyhow, to sum it up, life is a game. Play by your own rules, but respect the other players. I hope that makes sense. God bless. Take care.